Welcome to RidgeLife. I'm Tim, and today we've got an issue with our garage door. We were on vacation for a week. Mom was here house sitting, and she tried to raise the garage door. She said she heard a loud pop, and now this is all it will do. And that's it. Let's get inside and see what we see happened. All right, we'll do that again and see what happens from the inside here. You see it comes up a little bit and goes right back down. So a loud pop tells me something happened up here. And if I look up, you can see what the problem is. This garage door has two lift springs. This spring is fine, and that spring has broken right there. So there is an easy temporary fix for this, and I'll show you how to do it here in just a second. So with the one spring broken, we're only lifting with half our lifting force, and that's why it does what it does. So when you go to raise it, you see that as you go to raise it, it'll stop about right there and go back down. So if I assist it with my hand giving upward pressure, you'll be able to see it continues to go up all the way because I'm assisting the one spring. The other spring's broken. So as we go all the way up, again, you can see the spring is broken right there. And we're going to get up there and we're going to fix that temporary like. How this works is when the door is down, spring tension is high. The spring has been tightened. And then when you go to raise it, that spring tension is going to assist the door lifting mechanism in lifting the door. That little motor doesn't have enough strength to lift the door by itself, but with the spring tension, it assists it. And then when the door is fully up, the spring is released, and that's how we're going to work on it today, with the door fully up and the spring tension released. That way we can get that broken spring put back together. So I'm going to lift it right now, putting some manual tension on it. Right here, I'm pushing with my hand, I'm assisting that one spring. Just keep lifting, and then get that up all the way. And then we got a little room to work right in here, and that's what we're going to do. All right, we can see here this spring broke. And what we're going to do today is just a temporary fix. You know, the fact that the spring broke tells you it's going to break again sometime in the future. But to get our garage door working, I'm going to put a temporary connecting block here. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But I'm going to pull this spring down, connect it to here, and then as it goes down, it will tension up and assist the other spring like it normally does. To do this job today, we only need three things. One is a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and that's going to allow me to separate the spring to get our block on. We're going to need a crescent wrench. That's going to allow me to tighten the block bolts. And of course, here's our spring block. Now this is a special block made for this type of situation. You can use all kinds of different clamps to do it. This one holds really well. And what you do is you put one in the spring in there, tighten the bolt down, put the other spring in from the other side, tighten the bolt down, and that will make the spring become one again. Again, this is only a temporary fix until you get your spring replaced, because the reason the spring broke is still there. This is a very old garage door, and it will break again. So until we get that spring replaced, this should get us in operation and have our garage door working. If I did this repair in the down position, of course the spring tension would be high at that point. So to do that, I would need to tighten the spring. After I got the block on, I would need to tighten the spring, and that's a very dangerous operation. But to have a door properly set, you do need to have a spring tension equal on both sides, and your professional door manufacturer can take care of that. Today all we're going to do is complete that spring, make it one again in the up position and the relaxed position. Then as it goes down, it will spring enough to assist the other spring, and again, until we can get this thing replaced. First thing I want to do is create some separation in the spring. It's just like putting a key on a key ring. You just got to slide it into place, turn it to the point where I can get my block on. Once I got enough separation and the block goes on, I can pull the screwdriver out, and now it's in place. Now we'll slide it on a little bit more and tighten the bolt down. I need to get this right in the center of the hole so the bolt will be under it. So I just got to keep working it and working it up there. See if I can get this worked through, and I want a little bit sticking out too. So first thing I'm going to do is hand tighten this onto there. Once that's hand tight, I'm gonna get my crescent wrench and I'm gonna start tightening this on. And once I get it tight, and you can also put some Loctite on there that help hold that in place. That helps also. Again, this is a temporary fix, not gonna be permanent. Just keep sliding and keep going around and around until you get it nice and snug. Again, it's going to be pushing it back into the center. Okay, it's almost snug. Just a little bit, but you definitely do not want this come flying off, you know. You want to make sure it's nice and tight. All right, nice and tight. Now we're going to work on the other side. So just like before, I've got to create some separation in the spring. Get that turned so I have enough to twist over. The more the better, that way when you get it over into place, it can go far into the coil. Okay, so once I've got enough sticking out, there we go, I've got enough sticking out. Now what I can do is tighten the nut down. And we'll start with hand tight. That's loose. Backwards. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay, now it's hand tight. So now I've got to tighten up the bolt. Get it tight. Once it's tight on there, I'll be able to loosen it up. There we go. All right, so now I should be able to hold that in place and tighten. There we go. And then I'll tighten both of them down completely and we'll see how our work did. Get it on there nice and tight. Almost. All right, so now that that's on there, I'm gonna grab a hold with a pair of channel locks and get that nice and snug. Now I'm gonna hold on to the block with the channel lock so I can get a nice snug turn on the bolt. Again, if I was gonna leave this permanent, I'd put some Loctite on there, but this will be temporary till I get it replaced. Okay, that's nice and tight. Let me just do one more on this one, then we're going to tighten the other side a little bit more as well. Okay. Again, working in this tight, closed space, very little room, very hard to do. Okay. All right, now let's tighten the other side. Hold on to the block. Again, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Nice and tight. All right, let's see how this works. So we have our spring block installed. You can see the spring is one now, and we're going to see how this tightens up as we close it. Hopefully this block doesn't create too much space and gives us issues. So it comes down. The spring should be tightening. Turning there. A little bit too tight. Alright, so I gotta figure out what the issue is here. So what is happening now is because of that extra space in there, the spring is there's not enough room for it to collapse on itself, which is causing too much spring tension for the door. So then it starts to come back up. So what I've got to do now is loosen that end and slide that end collar down just a little bit to account for that extra space in there. Now, I can't do that now with it down because of the spring tension, and will whack the heck out of you. So we have to raise it back up. I'm gonna move that collar out just a hair. We'll see how that goes. I can hold it there and tighten it. Should hold it in place. All right, I should hold it in place. I just gotta tighten these up. All right. Again, I do not want these slipping because it's very dangerous. Get it nice and tight. Nice and tight. There we go. One more time on this one. All right, we should be good. Let's see how it works now with it being adjusted. The issue with it was coming up, that the spring didn't have enough tension to bring it up, so we'll see how it does. See if it locks in place. All right, it locked in place, and you can see no sunlight coming out the bottom. Now, here's the big test. Let's see if it raises, because this is the test. Right there is where it was stopping before. We are all the way up. Now when that came down, that spring was in an odd position, but again, it's working, and we'll just have to keep an eye on it, keep everything tight until we can get the spring replaced. I'm gonna lower it one more time and let you see what that spring looked like in that position. Back up here. Again, it's going down and sealing all the way, which is good. You can see when that spring turns right there. Look how odd that spring looks, everybody. But it's holding position, and as long as it doesn't break, we're gonna be good for a little bit. I really need to have it down some more, but that's what we got. Well, that's the quick and simple fix for a broken spring on your garage door. Again, this is a temporary fix. It will break again. You saw when it's compressed, that spring is an odd shape there. It broke the first time, it's gonna break again, and those blocks are temporary. So we will call the professional garage door company, come in, replace that spring, and we'll get this thing going permanently. But for now, you'll see we've got a garage door that opens fully, which it did not before. Quick, simple, at-home fix. That's the best thing you have on your homestead, right? Is to be able to do things yourself. So until next time, I hope everyone has a blessed day, and go Ridge Life.